And right, we're live with Jordan Fourie. Welcome to Coffee and Conversations with Champions, man.
Thank you.
Got to give you one of those, and thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us.
No, thank you for allowing me to come on your show.
Oh man, don't be silly. You're the
Honor.
guest. We're grateful and happy to have you on, and also for accommodating us with going a little bit later. So I think let's kick it off. Give us a little bit of a background as to sort of who you are, because we've met you in the strongman community, and obviously the work that you're doing and competing, and how you got into the sport.
Yeah, cool. So I'm Jordan Fourie. Um, Started Strongman. So I watched a lot of gym stuff always when I was small. But then one day started watching, the old, you have Thor, Eddie Hall, you have
Yeah.
Barrett Bardenhall, the old school guys. And
Well, not
then
not old school for me,
uh,
because for me old school is Magnus and Magnuson, but so yeah, but it's fair
yeah,
enough.
old school for me.
Yep, 100%.
And then I met Ruben.
Mm-hmm.
Him and his brother have been on here.
Yes.
So when I met him, I told him it looks like a cool sport, and I went to go train with him. Um, and it was very intense. He didn't take it easy on me for my first official strongman training session, but it was by that time I had the log on my shoulders and sandbag. Even though I felt like I was dying, I was enjoying it a lot. Felt like, okay, found my sport.
Awesome.
And ever since then, he started helping me with the program and, who to get in contact with like the group for Africa Strongman Union. And yeah, I just went from there. He helped me out at first, and then now I have my coach who I met at Static Monsters. But yeah,
So I think we got some comments here for you from Vienna. There we go. Uh, So
yeah.
that dropping those in there, absolutely, yes, a great, amazing, and great support in the community. I love what you said about nearly dying at your first training session, because I don't think people really understand and realize how intense strongman training actually is, and what it involves. What was that first
No.
training session like for you, and sort of what it make? Did it sort of change how you thought of the athletes and the competitors?
So I rocked up at the gym, and it's actually a powerlifting gym. It was at Barbell Bullies.
Okay,
That's where I
right,
first
yeah.
trained.
Okay, sure.
So the environment, it was like, oh, everyone here, everyone's strong and everyone's motivating each other. But it was I spoke to him and he's like, yeah, we're gonna see how far you can get, and if you like the sport, then we can continue. I was like, okay, cool. And started with log technique, got the technique with everything. And then that wasn't bad. But the part where I started struggling was sandbag runs.
Mm-hmm.
So the sandbag that he started me on, I think it was 70 kilos. And I picked it up, lapped it, picked it up, and then I dropped it. I was like, okay, I'm done. And he's like, no, go run there, throw it over, come back. I was in shock. I was like, wow. And it's strongman, you have your static lifts,
Mm.
which is the big, it gets you the views and it gets you popular, you scream, you drop the weights, all of that. But like the log, yokes, farmer walks, all the strongman events,
Atlas
no one
stones.
realizes that Atlas stones, cake toss even,
Yeah, yeah.
no one really realizes it's strength, but some of these guys like Ruben, it's strength, but also the cardio
Yeah.
fitted to that specific movement. Because it's cardio, but it's not like going to swim like 20 kilos, 20 kilometers, and then coming back. And it's a different type of cardio. It's more you learn to not gas yourself out early,
Mm.
and it's hard to do because when I was with the Sandbag, 2 runs in, I was done. I was almost on the floor.
But it's crazy. It's like lifting the heaviest weight that you can imagine multiple times, non-stop, forever.
And it's and then they must just add a run to it
Yeah,
just to
yeah,
make
and
it
then
even
put it
worse.
right. Absolutely, yeah.
It's
Or
it's
yeah,
that's
yeah, or what
yeah,
they
man.
did at Africa's Strongest, throw in the yokes and then make you do the sandbags.
Yeah, but it's cardio for that, but it's to not gas yourself out,
Mm.
but it's a hard trick to learn. But once you can do that, then you can get far.
Yeah.
Just because you might not be strong in static lifts, which is the case for quite a few people, and then they make up their points in, you know, kick toss or the running events
Mm,
where they
mm.
make up.
So I don't think people really realize the level of skill and the level of connection to your body, how much you have to know your body, how much you have to develop that skill. And as you said, like you've got a set reserve. You can't gas early, otherwise it's over.
Yeah, no, and if you gas early, trust me, you'll either feel it mid-event or you'll feel it afterwards. With
Yeah,
me, with Ruben, when I was done, safe like vomited quite a bit,
yeah.
and he was chuckling at me. I was like, okay, but that's how I know I really enjoyed the sport and the recovery. You have to, I think most guys in the gym, you get to a point where you've done it long enough where you know your body. You're like, okay, this feels a bit tweaked or this feels tight.
Mm,
So you
mm.
you can't really do this or that, and you leave it out or you don't go as hard, but you know when you need to recover and when you need to do what. So it helps a lot when you know.
And I think also, you have to know your body. I mean, that's an absolute given because the
Yeah.
competitions are also not the same. It's not, powerlifting, squat, bench, deadlift, or you got a bench only comp. With powerlifting, it's specific events at specific comps, and you might be coming into a competition where none of the stuff you're doing is your strong point, and you still got to show up and deliver. So what was it in your mind that made you make that decision? Okay, I want to do strongman. What was it about that first training session that made you decide? Well, I threw up. I nearly died several times, and this is for me.
Yeah, if you take that part out, then it won't sound so bad.
Yeah.
But it's the stuff where it's unique. Like if you go to a gym, you go to a normal gym, powerlifters, you can train properly for a competition in a normal gym.
Mm,
But if you strongman, you don't have your Atlas stones, you won't have a yoke there, you won't have a Hercules hold unless you go to a proper gym for it.
mm, mm,
But those movements, even if you're not strong in them, like for me, I'm not really strong in some of the movements and I'm still learning, but I enjoy them a lot, even when it's empty.
mm,
Like I'll
mm.
enjoy it more than doing like bicep curls or like leg press or stuff like that. It feels more fun, like you're using your whole body.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
does it almost feel more like real what you would use in the world in day to day, real whole body strength? Back in the day, lifting an ox cart that's tipped over in the field, or having to carry stuff. It's very very practical strength.
It's that's 100%. I think a lot of people say as well for a strongman, it's you competing to show that you have awkward strength
Mm,
because it is because even in comps you have oaks that are deadlifting cars and you're throwing your kicks. So if you need to throw a hay bale or whatever, that you can be prepared. But it is very especially with stones, it's a very practical thing because you're using at least half of all the muscle groups in your
mm,
body
mm,
to pick up one thing.
sure. Absolutely. Tell us about your first competition.
So yeah, my first one is where I met you guys at Static Monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it was end of Feb. I was very stressed. I was very nervous for that. But and I had no coach. I went in blind. But I did well. But it's also I'm not good in log.
Mm.
It's not like I know Timmy and he's very good at log. And before I went, I was actually aiming to go at least get second place for log.
Right.
But a log, I'll have to get there more, work on my form. But it went well. I realized the community, everyone like really does scream at you to do well, basically. Especially if you like pushing yourself to the limit. And it's also with strongman, it's a static competition, so only deadlift and log. But I have to get used to the events being straight after each other.
Mm, mm.
Because when I go to Africa's, then the events they're like 4 days, 3 days events, and it's all of them all have a toll, and it's straight after each other. But it went well. I'm glad to have met everyone that I have met. Like I've made some good friends in the community, like Fiona and
Mm.
Camden and Etienne also. But I might go again next year, but I'll come back much stronger if I do that.
Is this something that you're aiming to stay with as a sport, to keep on at and keep pushing?
In the sports, yes, but for static monsters, not as much. I
Mm.
think it was just a comp that it came out of nowhere for me. Like I just saw it in the group, and I was like, oh, it's on a good weekend. It's a Saturday. Um, I can test it out. I can see if I do well, and I ended up doing better than I thought I would. But it's I'll I think if I have an off season and it's not busy and I'm okay, I would probably do it again. But
Mm.
mainly I'm focusing on getting strong in its proper strongman movements that would
Mm.
be in Gauteng strongest or Africa's, and that would be in the proper comps.
Okay.
So
So we got some great competitions coming up. Which ones are you looking at doing?
so unfortunately, I will not be competing for the rest of the year because
Okay.
school is terrible, terrible thing.
School is
But
important, but strongmen are more important.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But I have my coach now, and
Mm.
we have some plans for next year. So I'm going to be coming for some titles and gain mass and strength, and
Mm.
I'm focusing a lot. So this is like a whole year as like an off season for prep for as much comps, like the comps that I'm looking for next year. So we're working on that now,
Can
and
you share a
so
little
far
bit of
progress is
info
going well.
about next year, or don't want to get into trouble with anybody's coach?
No, I can.
Awesome.
It's mainly more comps and trying to get to the big ones,
Mm.
but looking for first one will be Gauteng strongest is one that I am looking at, and I have checked the info of this year's Gauteng strongest, what the lifts were and the movements, and prep for that will go well if I continue how I'm continuing now. Because I mean, since static, I'm up 5 kilos, so
Sure.
it's
Fantastic.
needs size and
Yeah.
mass as well to fuel properly. And it's I don't know how much I can reveal, but Gauteng strongest is one that I am going for, and yeah,
I see
but
you're
that's
trying,
obviously in
but
the
you're being
juniors.
very, very careful. Okay, we don't want to get you into any trouble,
Yeah,
and we don't want to get into trouble with any coaches. So if we chat about the sport itself, which is really, I mean, it's an unbelievable sport, and I think it's, you know, it's very well rounded and very much like competitive powerlifting, and I think many of the strength sports, it's a great foundation for life. You know, if you want to be competitive, You got to have your training dialed in. You have to have your nutrition dialed in. You have to have your recovery dialed in. There's no going out with your mates till 2, 3 in the morning. There's no going out with your mates until 10 in the evening. And, it's a very big sacrifice. How beneficial is it, do you think, for younger people to look at competing in strongman and getting involved in the sport?
Well, so now in Africa and South Africa, the junior strongman community is growing. It's growing more since when, Timian was in juniors, because I believe he's moving into a category now.
Okay.
So it's growing more and more. I think more people are just realizing that, it's more fun because it's so much more things to do, and it's all in one day.
Yeah.
And even if you don't do well, everyone is still supporting you like you're competing for a title. And it's more, I'm trying also to get more people into it, like friends that I'll try come pick up a log or, come do something. But I think next year also, there are juniors that I know of, that will be my competitors. And it's going to be, I think next year is going to be for juniors. It's probably going to be the most competitive season for that. But I think not even strongman, just a competitive sport, literally anything, swimming, discus, or like running, whatever. It's so good for you to be competitive, because if at the end of the day, if you're not, pushing yourself to do something, whether it's like, deadlifting or running, just a certain goal in your sport, then you're gonna end up feeling lazy, and you won't. If you think, oh, if I went and did this, I'd be good, but then you have the pain of regrets just like kicking you. So I think with strongman as well, the competitiveness in it is very high for all categories, any division, and I think it's good for everyone, because we all push each other and shout at each other, but it's positive, and we all grow at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Very, very well said. I think the support at Static Monsters from the audience was absolutely incredible. From Africa's Strongest was amazing as well. There's a whole grass embankment full of people with tents set up there, ready for the day, ready to rock and to cheer. In terms of your competing, and I'm asking this question from the point of view of the audience understanding how valuable they are, how valuable was it for you to have people cheering for you and screaming for you?
Well, before my top pull on the deadlift, which was 225, I was very nervous, and I had a lot of electrolytes out of me at that point, because I was flat after everything that I did before. And you have your smelling salts, the music beforehand, everything to try to hype yourself up. But at the end, when you're standing with the bar and you at a sticking point, people that you love start shouting for you, like, and rooting for you, even strangers as well. A lot of people I didn't know they were rooting for me, but I didn't even know. And when you hear it, you're like, it just makes you feel like you have to get it, or what are these people rooting for? You're letting them down.
Yeah.
So it is motivation, but it's so hard to explain, because it's people that you've never met that could be screaming for you like they know you.
Yeah. And like you're the most important person in the world at that moment.
Yeah, and half the people you don't even know.
Yeah. I think it's so important that audience do realize that, sometimes you had a competition even for several days, be a little bit tired, you've done a lot of cheering, but you're never going to be as tired as the athletes. So bring your A game as the audience. You can make a profound difference to the athlete.
Lose your voice a bit.
Yeah, lose the voice, 100%. Sacrifice the voice. What was it like for you having Rain O'Neill at the comp and helping with the prize giving?
Well, that was, so I knew Donnie was coming.
Yeah.
Because
what a great announcer, huh?
What an MC.
What an MC, absolutely. What energy. Yeah.
And then I think I heard Donnie say, I was at the back, I was still
Mm.
prepping, and then I heard him say, "Oh, Reno will be stopping by." I was like, "Phew." It's odd because you see him on TV or doing his big league competing, and then for him to come to it is an international comp, but I mean, compared to him, it's a small competition compared to like his level of what he does and him preparing for worlds, and then yet he still comes
Yeah.
and supports, and he actually partakes and he speaks to everyone, and he's not doing it for the views or anything. Like he spoke to everyone, he hands out, he supports, and it was an honor. I also saw him backstage. Um, Me and Fiona were speaking to him,
Mm.
and yeah, it's freaky to see him in person because you're used to seeing him on a screen, and it's different. But
Yeah.
it's an honor to see him and have him there as well.
How when poor Vienna was doing her deadlift, and they're like, "Oh, Reno just wants to give you some advice," you
Those
know.
boards, yeah.
Yeah. So, how freaked out was she?
Um, I know at the back she's gonna shout at me now.
Yeah, she's going to shout
Um,
at both of us, so it's fine. We'll
yeah,
take it together. It's fine.
I'm gonna see a comment now.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, at the back, I was pacing a lot because I didn't know what to do.
Mm.
Um, and then I saw him, and then Fiona was like, she was jittery. Yo, she was like, she brought it. She said she had to focus,
Mm.
and she did. But I think when he got there, she switched up a lot, like in terms of nervousness but focus as well.
Mm.
They both rised at the same level, but nervous showed a lot more. And I was also nervous, but yeah, he's met her. They knew each other, like they know each other well. So
Mm.
for
Mm.
me, it was just first impression meeting him. It's cool, but they know each other, so I think there's a bar for her to meet as well. So she probably has a reason to be nervous.
Got to
But
bring
yeah,
the A
champ.
game. Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, phenomenal. It was really amazing to see him there because, as you said, like, it wasn't for likes, it wasn't for big follows, or it was there to support the athletes and to support
mm,
the sport and, give the audience the incredible opportunity to see him in person. It was really cool. And I think it speaks so much to the community and how special the strongman community is. What is it about the community that is special for you?
I think the biggest thing. So the biggest thing is everyone, like you have your support,
Mm.
but when I say support, I mean for me at comp, I didn't have figure 8 straps, and I had Fiona, Camden, Etienne. Everyone was like, okay, you can use my straps,
Mm.
and it's
Mm.
like it's their own equipment, but they're offering it to you, like so that you can do your lift and try to do as best as you can. So everyone tries to help as much as they can, even if it means like using their own stuff. Because I mean, I used a lot. I don't even have my own pre-workout or anything. I used a friend and straps as well. So that helped a lot.
It's really, I mean, it is special. I think what makes it so amazing, everyone wants you, even the people you're competing against, want you to bring your A game. They want you to be on your best
Yeah,
form. They want you to bring your best lift so that if they beat you or you beat them, they know it's 100% from both of you.
yeah.
And I think
I think it's
that's
also
really
just the
cool.
competitiveness
Yeah.
that everyone has. So they want them, you want your competitor to bring his A game so that if you beat him, you're like, I
Yeah.
beat you at your
Yeah.
best.
Correct.
So
Not
it's a
not
it's a competitive thing.
Yeah, not because you didn't have your straps, so you didn't have your pre-workout. It was
Yeah, it's
because
beat
you
you at your best.
100%.
Yeah.
One of the things that stood out for me that VNA shared, I think, on the first podcast that we did with her, was saying how little support she gets, or getting no support from her school. And even within, some with the powerlifting communities and some of the other sort of niche strength sports, there's not a lot of support, there's not a lot of understanding. If you were to speak to schools, like to the school governing bodies, the teachers, the parents, what would you say is the value of strongman, and why should schools be supporting it?
I've had the same experience up until recently, but it's also, I think it's a big thing of they don't understand what it is, because most teachers are like, oh, you gym,
Mm.
how much do you curl, or like it's not. No
What's
one
your,
will ask
what's
how
your
much is
bench,
your log
boo?
press.
Yeah, yeah. No one's asking what
Yeah,
you're putting overhead.
no one. You go to your teacher. I go to the gym and I just did a competition. He's not
Mm.
gonna say, oh, what was your farmer's walk, or
Yeah.
you know,
What's your
it's.
yoke?
I think
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing
Yeah.
is the understanding that no one. They don't. It's not that they don't want to, but it's also not the biggest sport that we have
Mm.
in our country. Rugby and soccer and powerlifting is also, but
Mm.
strongman, it's different. And I didn't really have school support. I mean, I had friends that knew I'm training for strongman and that I'm doing comps and trying to take it seriously. But the school itself didn't really support until um I got my title at
Mm.
static.
Mm.
Then they were like, oh, okay, well, students got a little students representative thing in the newsletter for once.
Okay,
And
cool.
I
Yeah.
think,
It's a starting point.
yeah, so, but I think, for Fiona and probably other juniors as well, I think it's also, they don't want to show strongman because they don't feel it's a big enough sport.
Mm.
Because, you know, you walk around and there'll be kids and they'll be playing rugby, or you asked a guy in uni what he played in high school, rugby or this or that.
Mm. Mm.
It's not like you go and he's like, oh, I did strongman when I was in school or something like that. But I think as the sport grows, because we have people that are helping the sport grow, Harvey, Kellen, Reino
Mm.
as well, helping grow the sports in our country. And I think with that, it's gonna the problem should fix, but if it doesn't, they're gonna have some very big and angry people that they have to deal with.
You got a log press or a principal press?
Yeah. Kick toss with the teacher.
Yeah, there we go. But I think, strongman produces such well-rounded athletes. It's really
Yeah,
something that's beneficial. And,
yeah,
if you can balance a rugby season and a strongman season, your rugby players are going to be a lot better. They're going to have better endurance, better. The problem is the tackle. You're
yeah,
not going to put the guy down until you cross the line. That's
yeah.
maybe the one challenge that
Or
you're
you
going to have.
tackle them and you throw them up a bit,
But yeah,
and
you're going to throw him over the post with the ball. There we go.
I
Yeah.
think it's because as well in the training,
Mm.
you're not, you know, average gym person, you go train, you're working this muscle group,
Mm.
but strongman, you working this event,
Yeah.
not muscle, but today,
Such a
log
great point.
day,
Mm.
today deadlift day.
Mm.
And I mean, within a deadlift day alone, you know, back, triceps, rear delts, glutes, hamstrings, it's grip as well.
Yep.
So I think that's why they make such well-rounded athletes, because
Mm.
we're not looking to train a specific muscle. We training to improve in events, and to improve in an event, we need all these different muscle groups to work together and be strong.
Yeah. And
So
have endurance.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I see we've just had Warren Brits joining on Instagram. And what did you think of the Iron Empire gym?
Oh,
Huh?
I've seen it a lot on Instagram and Genre
Mm.
and Hobby as well. But when I was there, I didn't want to leave. I like actually I walked in, the flags, the ABS. I saw the stones. I saw the SEL trophy was also there.
Mm.
It's like a whole environment for strongman, and it's rare to find. because there aren't strongman gyms specifically, and that's like the strongman gym. So when I went there for the comp, I want to train you.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's something, it's amazing what they've built there. And it's an acknowledgement of the value of strongman. I think to put that kind of, that assets into, and that level of investment into building a facility like that for the strongman community, it's absolutely, absolutely phenomenal. And
it's made, the gym, it's not like a gym manager that, is trying to make money. I mean, the guys that are involved in the making of that gym, strongman, African champions, international champions, like interested in growing the sport, and they invested in the sports and they partake in it as well.
yeah,
So it's like they like put their hearts and soul into the creation of it. So when you're there and you do the sports, I feel like if you're a viewer just viewing, you won't maybe feel the same. But if you're a strongman and you go in, feel like, they put detail into this, the log, the padding, to try. I mean, even then for the comp, they had the Slater log that they got just
yeah.
for the
How
first
was
time,
that log, huh?
big.
Sure.
That was, yeah. When everyone started prepping, I lapped it. I had it on my lap. I was like, no, I'm gonna drop it now. I'm not there yet.
Yeah. Stuff to work towards. So I think really that gym is going to become almost a place of pilgrimage for strength athletes in South Africa, that they're going to want to go there, going to want to train there, going to want to hang out there, and just experience it.
As well.
Yeah, that's we've
because Nicholas is there as well.
Yeah,
he trains there a lot, and it's the two best sports in one gym. Powerlifting and strongman.
Absolutely. And you got the AWPC and WPC Gauteng, out of there, and it's a very, very special place. And it was so nice and warm compared to when we were there for AWPC and WPC nationals. In May.
Don't get me started on that heat.
Hey. It was no. Listen. We weren't. I wasn't competing, so I can't really comment. But it was nice and warm compared to how it was in winter.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. But it got to a point where the chalk was coming off of my hands, and I didn't know what to do. So it just kept, putting chalk. But it got hot. Halfway through.
But it was so great to see, because you see sort of guys like Donnie who's emceeing, and he's focusing on keeping the competition flowing, looking after the audience, but he's an athlete himself. And he was, we were grabbing they were borrowing extension cords from us and then moving the fans. And there wasn't putting the fans to keep the judges cool or to keep himself. He was putting it in the back to help you guys cool down as much as possible.
I didn't even know there were fans.
Yeah, there were fans at the back. That's how focused and in the zone you were. So, absolutely cool. So,
and then they got to a point I was sitting at the back, just behind the when they were deadlifting. There's a little chair at the back. I was sitting there, and it got to a point where I was in the zone, but I got snapped out. I was sweating. The humidity was bad halfway through.
Yeah, it's got getting warm. It's good prep for. I think we had SA Strongest in Durban last year, and that also got quite warm. And we were trying to move our cover around all the time and move our tables around with the streaming gear just to keep it out of the sun and from cooking. So it was a good practice for the heat, for the different environments. So.
But good prep for the heat as well.
Yeah, absolutely. For you, just a couple of fun questions. We ask this of our powerlifters, of our other athletes. You don't have to be serious with the answers. You can if you want to. But what is it that you love about strongman?
The training. But the training with the fun movements. I'm not talking like, you have to train your chest or your shoulders. I'm talking like you can go your keg toss day or your log day or specific event days. Those are very fun. And I think that's probably the biggest. I just enjoy those awkward events so much. So
Awesome. What, and again, a fun question, it can be a serious answer, but it doesn't have to be. What drives you mad about strongman?
in a good or bad way.
Yeah, that doesn't it doesn't have to be too serious. You know, we've had guys
Um,
answering about like cutting weight or, you know, having to do certain movements or whatever it is. What drives you
yeah.
mad about strongman?
Ooh, I think, this is probably just me, but if you say you do strongman and you put yourself, social media, you do strongman, you say that you're a strongman, and then people come to you in real life and they're like, "Oh, how's your powerlifting going?"
Yeah,
Uh, I've
fair
gotten that.
enough.
So that's a bad one.
Yeah,
But a good one, I think when you're in comp, you feel, you have well, for me, the testosterone is raging, you're shouting, you don't even realize you're shouting, and you're so focused. Like with me, I didn't even know the fans were there.
yep,
So it's it's quite fun you feel like a different person
yeah.
because I mean, you can't walk around the mall and start shouting and like then growling at the bar or anything. So it's that's probably the best. You can like really let loose and scream or do whatever.
And that's it's hugely valuable to have that outlet and to be
Yeah.
able to let things go. What do you feel that strongman needs? What would you like to see happening for strongman? And I think let's talk about it particularly in South Africa.
Mm, I think more, it's probably difficult to just, say something and then make it happen.
Mm.
But just, for the sake of probably saying something and not
Yeah,
necessarily
I mean,
making it happen.
what's
But
the dream for you then? I mean, it doesn't have to
I
be
think,
something that we can do immediately.
yeah, I think more prevent like close competitions. Like, I know in America, you have, let's say in Texas, you have the
Mm.
guys that are like in Dallas, you have your little Dallas comps, or
Mm,
in
mm.
Houston, you have your little Houston comps. It's like, I think if we had like, let's say in Gauteng, you have like, okay, East Rand competition or, Northwest competition. And in here, like Western Cape, I know you have Western Cape strongest, but that's the whole, what's the word in English?
Mm. Nee,
Uh,
dis in Afrikaans.
Frequency.
Ja, ja, province. Ja.
Yeah, province.
Mm.
I think with more smaller comps that just happen more frequently, more people will start to see and be like, oh, what's this? Like let's say there's a sign, strongman comp here tomorrow.
Mm,
No,
mm.
it doesn't have to be serious, but there's people there trying out. I think more people get into the sport that way, and it's gonna grow more because more people will be like, oh, did you see the sign or the strongman thing? And think more smaller comps that don't necessarily have to be serious, but
Mm.
just fun thing to do.
Yeah, it's a great point that you make, and I think it's hugely important. Just to use powerlifting as an example, because my background is martial arts and powerlifting. Those are sort of
Yeah,
my sports. I'm not designed for running or cardio. I'm designed to lift heavy stuff
yeah,
and
me
throw
neither.
people around. So, there we
Yeah,
go. So maybe we can replace that with a sandbag, but or a log press. But no, it's fine
yeah,
for me. The value of small comps, club comps, is huge because it's going to bring people into the sport. And most
yeah.
importantly, there's nothing more valuable than time on the platform. And I know as a coach and having spoken to other coaches in powerlifting, nothing drives a coach more mad than when an athlete says, "Yeah, I'll compete when I can win." It's like, I'm going to strangle you. you know, it
I
just,
have said that to Ruben before.
have you? Okay.
So
And he let you live. So it's,
yeah, not in training.
yeah, okay.
I think it's also, we have a lot of comps,
Mm,
but they're provincial, and I think they a lot of people say they're gonna come, but they don't, and that's because they're scared of all the serious guys, because they're looking at the competition in a very serious manner. They're not looking at it as, let's go try it out, it's a little fun hobby, you know. They're not looking at like it's putt, you know. They're looking like it's like a whole champion level thing, and people are scared to go because they don't want to make a fool of themselves. So I think with the smaller comps, and you know, you specify it's just for fun, little tryouts, a lot more people will come because they're not going to be scared to be compared with the top of the country.
And I think, you know, that goes quite well with what you spoke about social media and people saying they are strongmen on social media, or that's what they do. And then I want to get to, there's another comment from VNA for you, which I'll show after this. But I think you get a lot of people posting, and we see it also again in powerlifting, posting massive numbers supposedly on their social media, and then they're suddenly at comp, nothing's really happening. So, you know, and really it's about, I think if people don't put so much pressure on themselves, they can come to a smaller comp and have a lot more fun. I think about my first powerlifting coach, Rodney Anthony. His thing was he would do any competition he could. You know, he was driving all over the country just to compete. And because of that value and that time on the platform. So I think your small club comp, not too serious, bit of fun, could almost be a way of training as well. You know, like we're going to do these different events and let's get it done and have a bit of a fun comp around it.
Because I know for static, it was on the 21st. I know on the 15th, a few days before, you know, they said on the group, there's a experience day at Iron Empire with static for the static events. I'm sure you were there, but it's like that is for people said, you know, they said specifically just come try out and see if you like it. It's a fun thing. And that's what I meant. If they do more of that, but maybe a little bit bigger, because that was just for static. If they do a little bit bigger, I think that'll be very good for the sport.
Absolutely. There's a comment I'll share, and then I want to ask you, if you were to design a comp, 4 days, 4 events, what would those events be? Your dream competition. But here's one from Vienna again. Just wait till we have Africa's Strongest in Rustenburg again. We're going to be cooked. There you go.
Yeah.
So I think,
and then the next Africa's Strongest, I will be there.
Yeah. So, awesome. So you got to practice more in Iron Empire with the doors closed at peak summer, so you can get prepped.
Well, I mean, you know, here in Cape Town, I mean, today was 30 or 31.
Yeah,
and
Cape Town's been nuts the last couple of weeks. So
it's preparing me for Africa's now.
For Rustenburg. Yeah.
I mean, last week Wednesday, I was in school, and I think by 1 o'clock got to 40.
Sure. Yeah.
You know,
it's crazy. You know,
still in school.
I grew up in Cape Town. I went to Camps Bay High, and the thing you're talking about 40 degrees. So there was a rule back then that if the temperature got over 40 degrees, they'd close school. And the one day they closed school, we were flipping in town on a geography excursion. It was very annoying. Well, everyone else is back at school swimming in the pool, and we dying in town. Yeah.
I think that rule is still a thing, but I think it got to 40 and then it quickly dropped again.
Okay, yeah.
Because I know of some schools in warm areas like, you know, Franschhoek, if it gets to 40, because it does do that a lot, then they do close the school. So
sure. Yeah, that could be crazy. So I'm going to ask you, what would your 4 favorite events be? And I think if Ina's still watching, drop her in the comments. What would your 4 favorite events be for a competition? And anyone else on Instagram or YouTube, let us know in the comments. So if you were going to design a comp, 4 events, no one could argue with you, what would those events be? And again, I suppose I have to be careful because I don't want you to necessarily give away your favorite events.
Oh, okay, that's true. Well,
yeah, I just threw that in there. Now you're going, yeah.
Yeah. I have to change. So can I go backwards? Can I say day 4 was this, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
So I think just for, you know, the history of the sport, the last event has to be stones.
Oh,
but, you know,
brutal.
Castle, those Kingstone runs that they did at Myrtle Beach last year. That has to be the last event because that's a good finisher. Ooh, day 3, I would say, would be a keg toss. But, I don't know, it depends because I know if it could be any place, it would like be on the sand for a keg toss specifically.
Sure. Okay.
And then day 2, this is hard.
Hey, we can't keep everything easy.
Didn't think of this. Day 2,
You're going to drop sandbags in here. Okay. How about this? A truck pull while carrying a sandbag. Sorry, no, just.
yeah. Day 2, I'd say truck pull.
Okay,
I'd
cool.
say truck pull without a sandbag.
Without a sandbag, yeah. What I did, I don't know if on the group, what I did to the guys in Durban because it was at NMI. And Dean Shelley was organizing. It was such an epic comp, but they happened to have a truck in for service. There was a double Pantechnicon, so it had a short trailer and a long trailer full of logs, and it was just covered. It was just full of these massive logs. So I did a post on the group. Geez, guys, this is quite hardcore. Hey, that this is for the truck pull, and the guys were going, "What are you talking about?"
I'd be very stressed if I would.
Yeah.
Panic immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then day 1, the first day of this imaginary comp.
Yes. The Jordan Fourie Invitational on Camps Bay Beach and Camps Bay Soccer Field.
Small regional comps.
Yeah.
Day 1. There's so much event. There's so many events.
Yeah.
It's.
What about like a max deadlift, like a pull and press or a deadlift and log?
I'd say day 1. Axle push press.
Sure. Okay.
Clean and press. Sorry.
Clean and press. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Love that. All right. Do you want to see what VNA wrote?
Yeah, it's probably going to be something sandbag while holding a log or something.
Yeah, well, on a Bosu ball. No, that's CrossFit. Hang on.
That's a different conversation.
Yeah, there we go. Let's have a look what we got here. So we got yoke and farmers as a medley. There, truck pull, deadlift, and Atlas stone. So that's pretty close.
Yeah.
All right, and then there we got that yoke medley. All right, what do you think of that? Oh, well, okay, hold on. She's changed this up. Deadlift and Hercules hold.
Yeah, I agree with that one more. The Hercules hold. If I had to, I'd say, okay, day 1, axle clean and press. Day 2, so this is the official one. So day 1, axle clean and press. Day 2 would be keg toss and Hercules hold. So one morning, one a bit later. Day 3, truck pull. Day 4, the stone run.
Sure. Okay, that's going to be a fun one.
Well, luckily it's not there. So
not yet. Yeah, but the seed's been planted. Hey, so expect 5 years. Yeah. That's your timeline. All right.
Get a message from. Yeah. Gonna get a message from Harvey saying, "Hey."
Stop this nonsense. Yeah, you're gonna have to vet all the strongmen coming on the podcast to chat. We'll start giving away too many crazy ideas. If you could come up with an event, anything, what would you like to bring in? Maybe something from the past, something that's never been done. What do you think? And VNA will open this up to you as well. I think I've got to get you both on the podcast together next.
I have thought about this. This is before I started Strongman as well. So the back of a bucky, you pick it up. So we have those with the usual comps, you have your deadlift and you deadlift the back of the bucky.
Yep.
So some form of same type of rig, but with a frame, and you walk.
Oh, geez.
So
Okay.
you pulling it, but it's on handle. It's like frame carry.
Mm-mm.
Same type of rig, but same of that deadlift at the back of the car,
Yeah.
and walk like that.
Sure. Okay. That's going to be cool. I like that.
I think that is quite cool.
That's going to be awesome. I think this is what's really amazing about strongman is sort of the evolution of the sport and the stuff that guys are coming up with. And there's such amazing ideas. You know, I'm showing my age again, going back to Sun City in the 90s, where they had some incredible strongman competitions there, and even the
Yeah.
car carries. I think they were carrying minis or VW Beetles.
Yeah, that was with the yoke probably.
Yeah. And just
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely crazy stuff. And it is such an amazing sport. And I'm very fortunate that, sort of we started off streaming powerlifting and then we've moved into other sports and really love being in the strongman community and involved with you guys and in this incredible sport. And I really strongly believe that strongman is a sport that can be tailored for many different levels. You could have a form of strongman in primary schools. You could have a form of strongman in high schools. And it would just create such well-rounded athletes and people as well. And that can serve any sport. I've seen so much with young powerlifters where they've been really good at rugby and then realized towards the end of high school they're not going to be making provincial teams potentially. They're not going to be making national teams potentially. And then they move into the sport of powerlifting because they're competitive there. And I think that strongman really should be something that schools are looking at offering on some level. It doesn't have to be a 70 kilogram sandbag, but it could be a 7 kilogram sandbag. And the load is dynamic. As you moving, it's moving. So something that's really safe and appropriate. And I think you can also do it at really low cost. Maybe instead of a truck pull, you do a tug of war. And and sandbags. So just really, it's such an amazing. Here we go. Are you ready? We got another one from Vienna. But it just can be such an amazing sport. Right, let me pop this in here. Car deadlift and something fun. We yoke press.
Oh, yeah. Well, car deadlifts already, I think.
But can you
Unless you mean like the whole car.
No, you deadlift and then up and then into a press.
Oh, oh, oh. That sounds so.
Absolutely
I
crazy.
think back to what you said about, the the sports can change, so it changes very quickly in terms of the events and people coming up with new things. But something that's also that I noticed is with your pro, because of all the new events that have come out, that weren't a thing when the sport first started. Now in your pro, like your Rogue Invitational especially, they're bringing the old events back. Like you have the circus dumbbell, and you have your clean and press with the barbell with those rocks on the side, like how they did when the sport first started. They're bringing everything back because I think they also want to try to keep the history, but it is still cool that the events can change in the way that they can.
And absolutely, and it just the evolution is amazing, and just seeing the the energy and the passion in the sports, it's only going to grow from strength to strength, which is something that's really really cool. I think for you, if you could see, we've touched on sort of the smaller comps. How important is it for the sport for sponsors to get involved, not only on competition level, but in supporting athletes?
I think those small comps, in terms of the sponsorships, I think that's a different ball game. But with the small comps, that's probably the best thing that'll grow the sport in terms of getting new experience, new people, and just growing so that more people know what it is and not confusing it with powerlifting.
Yep.
Um, it's
Again, yes.
It's so annoying.
No, but don't
But
worry. Hold on. Powerlifting feels the same way about Olympic weightlifting. Because you say to guys, what do you
yeah,
do? I'm
yeah,
a
that's also
powerlifter.
true.
And you go, oh, when you do this. It's like, no, that's Olympic
Yeah.
weightlifting.
Well, I think also, you say I'm a strong man. You're like, oh, are you strong? So, okay,
Yeah. It's okay. Yeah, exactly.
a little bit. But with the sponsorships, I think that's I think the one will lead to the other.
Mm,
So with the small comps, the more that grows in the small regional areas, or the regional comps, I mean, the the more the name will grow. And
mm,
then with the name growing, there will be more big sports, like static that
mm,
came to
mm.
South Africa, and more Africas or South Africas and, Western Cape and Gauteng, bigger comps. More sponsors will then get involved because the name has grown more from those other small regional comps.
And
So I think it's just the most important thing is having to grow the name.
grow the name. And I think you've hit the nail on the head. Small regional comps, if you can have a small comp every 2 to 3 weeks,
Yeah,
every week, even where you can drop that in as part of your training,
yeah,
will
that's
become
what I would.
invaluable. And it's almost like have a format of $100 to enter, but if you bring a friend, it's 150 rand for both of you, something along
Yeah,
those lines, and then you're responsible for your friend. So it's almost where you starting to coach a little bit. A type of format for that would work really,
and I
really
mean,
well.
in terms of the equipment for those comps,
Yeah.
you know, everyone lends the equipment, to each other for comps. So with those comps, especially, I think, like Iron Empire,
Mm,
let's say there was more smaller regional ones, Northwest, Benoni, Gauteng, that side.
mm.
I think they just all, lend the equipment that they have, and everyone uses it for a day, and then people are like, oh, this is quite cool.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't help they do it and they don't have the equipment, It has to be the stuff that they use in comp, then they can feel, oh, this is fun.
That it's interesting that you say that, because chatting to a lot of the British lifters that we did last year ahead of Masters and the year before ahead of Commonwealth, British equipped powerlifting has really taken off, and it's growing and developing and becoming very strong. And one of the big
Yeah,
contributing factors to that is that athletes donated their old equipped gear, so the
yeah,
bench shirts and the suits, to a central sort of fund, to the main gyms. And then if you want to try it, you can go and try the gear. And I think that's absolutely great advice. So maybe you've got the equipment, you're bringing a mate with who doesn't, you share the equipment, they can structure the event like that. So maybe you compete and then your mate competes, and you help out. And, it can be a great way to get people into the sport.
yeah. And with the equipment, for me,
Mm,
um, most of my stuff's from Timu,
yeah.
like I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Half of it's from Timu.
Nothing wrong with
But
Timu.
with equipment,
Hey, half our streaming gears from
hey,
Timu.
well,
Yeah.
at the comp, I got some looks. I was like, oh, it's Timu. This
Yeah.
belt's Timu. Click
Yeah.
with proud
Hang on.
pride. And
Timu.
Timu, exactly. I have a whole box of
Yeah.
gear here that's Timu.
Yeah, there we go. Nothing wrong.
And
Yeah.
but with the guys that are, lending equipment down.
Mm.
So the biggest example I have would have to be, so I don't know if you know Gino Norkia. So he is
Yeah.
a under 90 kilo strongman, but he's moving up to under 105. He was at Gauteng's now.
Okay.
And because of him moving up that division, and if I cut weight, I can be under 90, because right now I'm 94, 95.
Mm.
So I bought deadlift suits from
Okay.
him.
Sure.
So,
Awesome.
because, and I bought it for a very good price. And that was very hard to look for one and find one.
Mm.
But, it's the community helping out again.
That's it.
So,
Sure. That's
yeah,
very cool. We're just being aware of the time, because, Instagram only gives us an hour, and
yeah.
anything that we sort of do and say after the hour is going to be lost. So just very, very quickly for the audience, why should someone get involved in the sport?
if you want to be properly strong, powerlifting people are strong, but that's also when are you gonna have to bench and deadlift and squat specifically in those movements, strongman, you squat your stones up, you overhead a lot of things, and that's a very helpful thing to be strong in. And with strongman, if you do it, which you should, you will be strong naturally in, someone asks you to come move in weird object,
Yep.
open hexagon type thing, you'll be able to do it because it's what you do in comp or in training.
That great advice. And also,
Yeah.
being a strongman doesn't mean you can't compete in powerlifting. So,
No.
that's the thing. And I think that I stand corrected, but I remember if there was a study or something that I read a few years ago. It said the strongest people in the world are furniture movers, but particularly furniture movers in New York City, because a lot of the buildings are 5, 6, 7 stories with no lift. So you're having to carry this couch up all of these stairs, or a fridge
And
up
it's
all
in
of
weird
these stairs.
positions as well.
Yeah, that's it. You're having to twist and turn and lift and these odd
Yeah.
shaped things. That's really what we built to do, and that's what we designed to do. So that's a very, very good answer. I love that. And I hope people are going to stick with that. I think we may have lost the Instagram audio. Well, I think it'll just be with a recording. So from your side, just before we wrap up, Jordan, it was great having you on. And I think got to get you and Vianney on as well. And if there's anyone else that you want to, because one of the formats we want to start to bring in is having multiple athletes and sometimes coaches on the show. Maybe we can get a certain coach from who spent some time with you at Barbell Bullies explaining why he did that to you in your first training session.
Another little episode.
100%. So I think, is there anything that you would like to talk about or to share just before we wrap up?
Not about me, but next year I'm calling it for junior strongmen in Africa. It's going to be a very competitive season next year for juniors. I'm not sure about the other divisions, but if you watch the sports and you want to look more into the guys that you don't know so well, watch for the juniors because it will be very competitive. You'll see me, Vianney, a lot of other strong juniors there as well.
Coming in, you guys are the future of the sport.
Yeah.
No pressure. 20 years from now, guys are going to be going, I know these. No, I don't. I said, but did you know Jordan Fourie? No, it was before my time. So there we go. But it's, this is really it's a cool thing. And I think it's a great lifestyle to adopt. It's a great community to be part of. And I think what I loved seeing at Static Monsters is there were so many young kids there running around causing chaos. There were a couple of them who kept jumping in front of the camera trying to pull faces. And we had to keep
my nephew was one of them.
Oh, your nephew, there we go. Okay. I think one got to do. We stopped the other one. I felt so bad. I kept saying, "Go, man! It's fine. It's not a train smash."
One that got in front of the camera. I told him to go. No jokes. I didn't tell him.
It's not something we have a problem with. Maybe one of the things that we're going to be bringing up at. We've got a couple of internationals on the powerlifting side in South Africa this year. And one of the things we're going to do is a family booth where family can have a dedicated area, family or friends, to go when their person is lifting. They can go and stand and take a photograph. We got some cool stuff we'll be setting up with that. So maybe we need a crazy kid camera on the audience. You can come in, pull a funny face, and whoever gets the best funny face, we can get a prize for them. And we'll put
T-shirts
it. That's it. Put it up on the screen. Get a photo, print their face on the T-shirt.
With the sponsors on the back.
With the sponsors on the back, absolutely. We get it sponsored. We'll be kind of cool. He becomes the spokesman. There's billboards on the N1. So I think that's something that can be quite cool. So I like that idea. I think we'll definitely bring that in. There's a competition. I've forgotten the name of it. I've just gone blank at Amy's gym, just out by Bloberg this weekend. It's a WPC, I think, or a WPC comp, and there's going to be strict arm curl. I'll get the details and share it with you on Saturday if you want to pop through. So I think it's
not the best, but
hey?
I'll have a look actually. Yeah.
Okay. Good, yeah. It'll be. I think it's always great comps and great energy there. So we'll be streaming that as well on our Emmet Media Extra channel. So that'll be great. So yeah, and then also I think we got SA Classic Lift for SAPF this weekend. So the biggest essays for SAPF Classic Lifting so far. Nearly 300 lifters, so it's going to be kind of cool at Sascock House. That's going to be awesome. So, going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah, a little bit. I do understand this whole school thing. Matric was great for me. I think it was the best 3 years of my life. And but I just got a little bit disappointed we're not going to be seeing you at comps, but at least we're going to have the opportunity to chat to you and have some fun. Maybe what we need to do at one of the comps is I'll speak to VNA, or one of the chats, I'll speak to VNA, get you both on, and you both have to bring on a mate who isn't in Strongman, and you got to convince them over the course of the show to do a competition and to compete. How does that sound?
That sounds very good. I'll bring a friend who's at least strong.
yeah, absolutely, 100%. And then maybe we have to figure out, like, your friend has to beat VNA's friend. We can make this a new series, the Best Buddy series or something like that.
In with the school that you said earlier, next year you'll see me much more. That's a promise.
Yeah, 100%. I'm looking forward to it. Because, that it's going to be awesome. And from my side, it was great to meet you at the comp. Jordan, I don't mean to embarrass you with this, but you are a very polite and respectful young athlete. And just the way you conducted yourself at the competition, even when we're, coming over to say hello, introducing yourself again, having a chat, was fantastic. And you're a great ambassador for the sport. So I think just, keep that in mind as well, really. And it's been awesome.
Just need to get some titles.
Yeah, those will come.
Next year they're going to come.
100%.
They're going to come next year.
Absolutely. They will come. And it's the thing, I think the greatest lesson that we can take, particularly for a young person from the sport. And I'll just share a little bit again about myself. I've been sober for 19 years. And the only reason I got to be sober for 19 years was working on my sobriety every single day. And I think that's what Strongman teaches you in powerlifting in these sports, that you got to show up every day, you got to be consistent, and then you'll ultimately get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. You've been nominated as the new motivational speaker for SA Strongman by VNA. There you go. The junior spokesman.
Give me a microphone. I'll try to be like the Oni as well.
Okay, there. You got a deal. All right, we'll get you at the next comp. We got a lot of portable. We got 4 really good wireless mics, so don't worry about it.
I'll be ready.
All right, awesome. I'm going to end the live stream now, and then I'll just chat to you quickly off camera. So the screen will go black for a few seconds, and then it'll come back up as we end it. Don't go anywhere. It's always terrifying, like people leave. Okay. So I just want to say, thank you to everybody for watching. We had some great viewership on Instagram, also to VNA for the comments. We had some good viewership on YouTube as well. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And Jordan, thank you for coming on. Also, it's so late. I do appreciate it. And thank you for accommodating us with having to reschedule. It was great to have you on. All right, I'll chat to you now. Good night, everyone. Thank you for your time.